Hello and welcome back to the Near Futurist podcast, in which I look at the developments likely affect our lives both at work and personally in, you can guess from the title, the near future. My name is Guy Clapperton, and this time we'll be continuing the conversation with Douglas Gilmour, Global Business Development Manager for Traffic at TomTom. But first, a word from my sponsor. Yeah, okay, it's me, plugging my media training service. Or your clients want to sound as confident, clear and fluent in media interviews as the people in this podcast? Of course you do. My team and I can help. Drop my assistant Lindsay, that's lindsay@clapperton.co.uk, a note and she'll set us a time for an initial chat. Or go to the website at clapperton.co.uk, 2 Ps, to find out more. Now, back to the podcast. Now, last time, and please do go back and listen if you haven't already, we looked at how maps were starting to move beyond the consumer world. Actually, they've gone beyond it ages ago, and Douglas is one of the people developing for it. So, Douglas, welcome back.
Thank you.
So let's move on a little bit from where we were and talk about smart cities. I understand you have an interest in that, but it's a term that's been around for a while. What exactly does TomTom mean by smart city?
So smart cities are generally understood to be cities that are investing for the future with a combination of both infrastructure and services, particularly digitally enabled services and technologies. And with those technologies, city authorities, road agencies, and the businesses and citizens of a city can live, more efficiently, more effectively, can enjoy higher quality of life. And, for example, simple things like being able to pay your tax, your local tax, council tax, as it is in the UK, being able to pay those things easily within a digitally enabled portal with digital currencies or with credit cards. So it's a very nefarious, you could say, very broad term covering a whole range of technologies, from hardware and technology in the road through cameras on the street, CCTV, through digital payment methods. And maps are kind of central to that because location is central to everything that both cities provide and how citizens interact with their city. And when they do business and when they go to work, school, or play, then it's then you need to understand, where you're going and how to get there.
That makes a lot of sense. And of course, maps are, as you say, intrinsic to a lot of these tasks. Do the maps themselves have to be smart in any way?
Maps have evolved, as we talked about in the last podcast. They've evolved significantly over the last 20 years, from a paper map, a published map that you might follow, to a digital map within a device that you use either in your car every time you drive or in your phone every time you leave the house or move even. So smart maps involve maps with more context, more data, detail, information that you can use to make decisions, whether that's being able to search for a point of interest or a destination, being able to add complex routes or stops to your route. That's what digital and modern maps allow you to do, and modern technologies allow us to do, whether it's an app on your phone or a device in your vehicle.
Now, all of this is obviously segueing beautifully into my asking about a phrase I've heard about, which is TomTom Orbis maps. Can you tell me what that actually is, please?
Sure. So I did mention it in our last podcast. We at TomTom have invested heavily in maps which use a greater number of contributions from OpenStreetMaps, OSM, which is an open source project started, I think 20 years ago. We had a celebration recently, and I can't remember. And we used the contributions of almost 60,000 people around the world, together with large companies who also contribute to OpenStreetMaps. We use all of that content, and then add and build on that. We quality assure it at TomTom. And Orbis Maps is our name for that map, that digital map, which can be supplied in forms and formats and as services that are useful for enterprises, businesses in different industry sectors. We mentioned fleet and delivery, on demand, for public sector and governments to use, for defence and geospatial intelligence type applications, and by automakers, of course, but to build into car navigation systems and automated driving systems.
This
So
sounds quite...
Orbis maps are a big deal. Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
it sounds pretty complex. How many alliances do you have to establish to make a thing like that work?
This all depends on a huge range of different sources. I'm speaking for our traffic services alone when we say we take data in from around about 300 different providers globally, and in some countries, even more than that. Whether it's publicly available data, whether it's private aggregated data, even individually collected data that's collected on demand from vehicles and cameras, just to keep that map up to date, to make it reflect reality as best as possible and as frequently as possible.
Another thing I hear about quite a lot is there was a thing called the Overture Foundation, that I read about a couple of years ago. What was that about, and how's it been going?
Sure. So the Overture Maps Foundation was founded in 2022 by TomTom together with Amazon Web Services, Meta, and Microsoft. And it's governed under the principles of the Linux Foundation. And the idea is to build the largest interoperable, collaborative, open map database available. Now, before that point, each of us were attempting to build the best map possible in the territories that were of value and of use to us. And so by coming together, we see this as an opportunity to not only each bring some of our best data and contributions, but also to work collaboratively to maintain and manage that content and quality assure it. TomTom's fundamental to this because our map making platform fuses together data from multiple sources, as we just talked about in relation to the Orbis map, and the key input for Overture maps is OSM, OpenStreetMap, as we discussed a moment ago. So Overture provides infrequent map updates, and the Orbis map builds in TomTom's proprietary content and intelligence on top of that, and quality assures it, makes it routable, and also provides more frequent updates to that data. Overture Maps is available for everyone, right? And it's something you can go to the website and you can download the latest base network, base map, and start building very easily, just as you would OSM with the OpenStreetMap. And by doing this, I think it breaks down silos. And so in terms of the near future, the next 5 years, mapping and navigation systems and apps have traditionally used just a set of APIs. If you go to probably the most common app on your phone for mapping and navigation, it's using a whole set of APIs behind.
Could you just explain APIs for any listeners who aren't aware?
Sure. Application protocol interface. So a simple way of calling data digitally and displaying a map tile or a route on your map on your phone. Whereas businesses need to have an underlying, what we call an uncompiled map. They need to have the data relating to the geometries in order to be able to build applications that route vehicles or plan and schedule vehicle routes efficiently and effectively. And so that's where TomTom traditionally we've had that role in enabling and supporting supporting these navigation applications and routing and scheduling of trips, together with historic and live traffic data. We enable road authorities to plan their investments more effectively and understand the performance of their existing road networks. So Overture Maps is just one step along the way to providing really a kind of credible underlying data set with contributions from many different people. And TomTom with Orbis Maps is enabling the quality assurance of that, and to build a kind of an authoritative data set with more context.
And finally, if you could, Douglas, tell me where listeners can find out more about what you and TomTom are doing at the moment.
Sure. So you can, of course, have a look at the TomTom website, www.tomtom.com. And we also have a range of blog posts, and have provided a range of press releases around our partnerships in automotive and in enterprise that you can go and take a look at.
Excellent. Douglas Gilmour, Global Business Development Manager for Traffic at TomTom, thank you very much for your time. And as always, thank you for listening. If you'd like to hear more like this, please do subscribe to the Near Futurist podcast on any of the platforms available, and check the website at nearfuturist.net, where you can find information on me speaking at your event or emceeing, and of course, if you scroll down, more episodes of this very podcast. Thank you very much. See you very soon.